took damage, he made it competitive. So this guy has come to play here tonight. First map going to be Whirlwind. This is actually soO's choice for the opening map.
That's right. Let's see what he's got in store for us. Keep in mind, in a best of 7, you are constantly trying to get more and more information from your opponent and then figure out how to adapt and change that build, change that strategy, change that play style so that you can be stronger in games 2, 3, 4, and so on. Let's see if they throw out any red herring builds, maybe any all-ins to try to mask that. Anyways, guys, we are ready. This is game number 1. soO versus Stats in a fight to become the champion of the GSL CODES. Oh my God, all right. Quick pull.
Great way to open it.
In the upper right in the red.
You were saying he can be aggressive at times,
Yeah.
Tasteless. You're certainly right about that.
Yep, let's see what opener we're gonna have here from Stats, but you know, you can't put it past soO to do a rush like that. Now, I think doing a rush at the start of this could be really smart because we don't know if soO is going to be rushing every game.
Yeah.
And this does kind of put the Protoss on the back foot as each game goes forward, where you might say, whoa, this guy really will be aggressive to me in possibly any of these games. Now, we got to see, where does each player scout and how quickly can, for instance, this case, Stats, figure out that this is going to be a quick pull. And luckily for him, that's about as quick as he could have done it.
Yeah, it really is. Now, seeing it that early, he chrono boosts his Zealot, gets that Cybernex core on the way. He's going to have to bring down some probes, though, to try to hold this.
Yeah, he's basically trying to punish a Protoss for doing any kind of fast expanding build. So we have a Zealot coming over here. The Zerglings are making a beeline right now, headed towards this base. Now, if he does lose, if Stats does lose this position, it's going to be very, very difficult to come back. I mean, all of his tech is right there in the open. Probes have been brought out. There's one Zealot. Let's see how they go.
Lots of dancing going on right now. Those Zerglings, running right past. Seeing where he can go. He sees this Nexus coming up with good speed.
Oh, he might go for a surround here.
Yeah, very nice move. Oh, picking off a probe already. You really need everything there. Another Zealot pops out to help, though.
Okay, the Lings are now headed southbound into the main. A lot of vulnerable probes are going to be interrupted from their mining. He does come and tries to get us around. The Zealots pulled back very effectively. The Lings now continuing to run through, taking out a few more workers. 2 kills so far.
Really swift micro on both sides. soO maximizing damage while Stats trying to keep every probe alive. 3 have fallen so far.
4.
A 4th goes down.
And this is absolutely a frustrating moment for any Protoss player because he's not getting to play the game he practiced to play.
No, he certainly is not.
This is soO grabbing the reins of this game and then dictating how the Stats has to respond. This is going to be a really, really interesting game from here on out because a lot of what Stats is going to have to be going off of is instinct. Now, we don't know how lopsided was that rush. Does soO have enough to defend if an Adept comes across the map and begins to harass? Because it is going to eventually the axis tilt a little bit back towards Stats having some momentum and some opportunities to punish.
Well, with a pool this quick, normally you don't have speed very quickly to follow that up, so wouldn't be surprised if he goes across the map, puts pressure on ASAP. But look at the little Zergling who could, scouting out both the Twilight and the Robo. This tells him that for sure, at minimum, there'll be heavy harassment incoming.
Seems as though Stats overextended a little bit with that Adept. Now losing all of its shields. Will he try to shade in here, or is he going to try to back up? And he does shade in. He's committing to this right now. It's got to be careful, though, because if he's overextending with these Adepts, he's going to lose them, and that's going to put soO in a very nice position.
This is some good zoning so far by soO, trying to do his best. Ooh, great cancel, though. Starting to kill off a few drones here. soO does not want to be losing drones at the moment.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind, guys, that he sacrificed a lot of his economy early on to get those links. So losing 4 drones like that, that's a pretty good return in damage there from Stats.
It really is. Very well done. Now an Overlord going to come in to check, is this going to be a Dark Shrine? And in fact, it is a great scout coming in from soO right now.
Really nicely done. If he did not see that coming, he might not have been prepared. Keep in mind, though, of course, if he's getting a Robo along with this, and he is with a Warp Prism, he can just go ahead and go into Archon Harass. And even if you know Archon Harass is coming, you can still end up losing a lot of workers.
You're definitely right about that, Tasteless, but he's countering it well so far. He's taking that third base finally, which got slowed down because of the rush, but throwing down the Evolution Chamber and a Roach Warren. If this is one of those double Prism Archon harassments, Speed Roaches is a great counter. You can always kill their third base off, so he's getting ready for that.
Okay, War Prism is out on the map. It's very clear to soO what's happening here. He is getting his Overseer. We do see a Pylon out, just out of range there. Excuse me, that's actually going to drop with that. I'm sorry. Well, he's going to drop with that over there and into the main here.
Stats is expecting this as well. This is what great counter against this. When you go for one of these DT harassments, you just don't have a lot of units at home, so the Speedling drop can do a lot of damage. Let's see what he can get done. Oh, Stats just in a perfect spot, though.
Yeah, he just can't unload there. The Lings are going to unload so slowly, he won't be able to do any damage. The DTs are headed northbound right now. Do we have detection? I don't see anything just yet.
The DT's going to town on this Queen right now. He wants to get that out so that his Prism doesn't take damage. Can't quite kill it. Going up to this base, and I don't see any Overseers. There is one morphing right now.
Yeah, there's no detection here just yet. These drones are on the run. Keep in mind, though, that soO's done a very good job. He hasn't really lost anything with this just yet.
Yeah, he's doing such a great job, and Stats has to pick up. Only 2 drones killed, and the Prism has gone down to half health. This is a great defense from soO.
Given the resources that soO had there, I don't really think you could have asked for a better hold from a Zerg player, ever. That was really nicely done. There's an Immortal coming out behind this. He may follow this up with a very strong push while harassing with these 2 Archons in the worker line.
Yeah, this is a great harassment, but soO right now throwing down that Prism, realizing that the ground army going to be super strong, knowing Immortals are on the way back at home. And Stats just staying on the 1 Prism for the time being, trying to get some harassment done, going after the Queen. The Queen is going to fall.
Okay, and with the Queen down, the War Prism can move much more freely here. If you're good at microing these Archons with these War Prisms, it is so hard to kill them.
It never dies.
Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, you better have like Mutas out or Hydras at the minimum to push that back, man. And he is on top of that nonstop. In the meantime, that third base is finished. Finally, some probes going there, and a wall-in being made as well.
Spire about halfway done here. It does seem like Stats is gearing up to have a pretty solid mid-game as this game is... Oh, nice attack there, getting those 2 sentries with these Lings. That was a big blow.
Yeah, really good move by soO to just trade a few Lings off to kill sentries. Sentries are so important early game in this matchup.
And it's so much gas that you've lost, you basically have to remake those sentries, and then, of course, you're slower on your other gas tech later on in the game.
Oh my God, Tasteless. He hasn't seen the Spire yet, and it's almost done. He's getting Charge and Immortals. None of this shoots up.
Yeah, this could be hugely problematic, especially if you consider that the sentries, the Immortals, everything else that pushes out into the middle of the map cannot run back home easily. These are slower, clunkier units, and this is a moment where Zerg could certainly punish the Protoss.
5 Mutalisks on the way. That can do a decent harassment against the army or even go over and kill a bunch of probes. But right now, Stats is pulling the trigger. He is walking over here with his entire army, joining up with whatever weapons he can pull out as well.
He's slowly moving forward. A few more Archons are going to be more. No, the Archons can fight the Mutas, but the Mutas are a bit more nimble and can sometimes outmaneuver them and then run back.
Well, let's see. This is a powerful force indeed. Charge is about to finish on these ults, and 3 Immortals mix in as well. He needs to hit some good corrosive biles.
Did he get the Observer there? I think he actually shot that Observer out of the sky. Well, that was a really, really fortunate corrosive bile there. He's certainly going to have to remake that.
Oh, some of these biles actually landing beautifully right now, but that is a lot of Zealots getting on top of absolutely everything.
Oh my God, the Ravagers are stuck in the corner. The Archons with their splash could just do too much damage. The Mutalist tech may not matter here as this is beginning to snowball in this game.
Oh, this timing attack from Stats was just way too fast. Already 20 plus drones going down. More and more units coming around the side trying to help out. Even the Mutas being suicided onto an Archon here, but Stats looks like he has too much.
I don't know if soO can actually hang on. He's trying to kite out some of these units to fight in little smaller battles, but this expansion up here has been destroyed, and I don't see any reason for Stats to not keep pushing forward now.
Trying to use the very best of Roach Micro that you'll ever see to pick off these Archons, with the Immortals dealing huge amounts of damage behind. The third base has been taken down. Behind this, Stats still mining from 3. and soO is all but dead at this point.
I don't know if this game is going to go on for that much longer. This expansion is going to go down at GG. Stats wins game number 1. Wow.
Yeah, and that was in overwhelming fashion. Scouting out that Zergling rush right off the bat, defending against it perfectly. Some decent counter harassment, and into a great follow-up Dark Templar harassment. I mean, this is Stats coming fully prepared for what soO had ready for him.
That was really impressive. I liked the start there for soO, but those adepts they got out, they did a good amount of damage. He killed off 4 drones. That was really nice.
Yeah.
And, I think from there, when you have that tech, those Archons there, it was too much.
All right, well, that was game number 1, and looks like, Stats with this lead from that first map that soO picked has to feel pretty good, but it was a rush strategy from soO, and I don't think we'll see it too much.
This has been just a fantastic day so far here. Already all these great Brood War games that we had, the announcement of StarCraft Remastered, and I have to say, this series is looking pretty good so far, but I'm wondering, with soO opening aggressively like that, is he going to do that again in the next game here? I don't think so. I think he has to play a much more normal game.
Yeah, I think that it's cool to start off with cheese. If you open with cheese and win, the way it messes with your opponent's mind is insane, because it's like, oh my god, is he just going to rush me down all series? But to open up with the cheese and lose, I don't think for soO is going to hurt that much, because Stats is going to be one of the best defensive anti-cheese players in the whole world, if not the best at it. So to lose that game, I think soO is not going to take too much hurt from that, right? He never got into his own macro game. So I think he can come out, play a standard game in this next map, and show us what he's really made of.
All right, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, game number 2 of the GSL Code S Finals.